Been a whole lot of rumor and speculation surrounding a new Pokemon Stadium here lately, and I'm here to throw in my 2 cents because I've got things to say. Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2 on the N64 are still some of the best Pokemon games out there, in my opinion, as far as experience and challenge goes. For those people that are constantly whining about how Pokemon is too easy now, it's for babies, go play Stadium 2, rentals only. It does seem a little suspicious that Stadium and Stadium 2 have not been announced as part of the Nintendo Switch Online service, which is adding N64 games. Why not take advantage of the Legends Arceus hype and get some more Pokemon games on there? I think even if you put a price tag on them apart from the online service for $20 to $30, people would still pick them up because of the quality you have within the games. Today's standards, yeah, the graphics are grainy, the mechanics are a little out of date. It's not a great looking game on 4K, but it's prime for an update, just as we saw last year with new Pokemon Snap. People are still on board for updates of these N64 games, yet there are still detractors. There are people arguing that a new Pokemon Stadium would be a waste of time and a waste of a game, and that is what I'm here to argue against. The primary argument I see out there against a new Pokemon Stadium is that, for the time, Pokemon Stadium filled a need that fans did not have, in that you could see your Pokemon battling in 3D for the first time, and now that's the standard. You can see Pokemon in 3D all throughout a playthrough of any modern Pokemon game. But that was not the full allure of Pokemon Stadium. A big part of it was that you could actually engage in challenging battles that weren't just your overpowered Charizard against 5 Weedles. You actually had to use some strategy and apply your Pokemon know-how, not to mention the rental system made it so that you didn't actually have to go catch and train up competitive Pokemon for the battles. Now, I get, yeah, not all rentals were competitive, in fact most of them weren't, but that's something that could be fixed with a modern game. Because that same problem persists with anyone that does want to engage in competitive Pokemon battles, to where not all of us have the time to invest hours and hours and hours into breeding and EV training. So if you do want a competitive battle, you go online, you don't have a whole lot of options for the types of battles you want to engage in, and then you just get stomped by a team led by a Pokemon eugenicist that has perfectly created this team to do exactly that, to stomp everyone in an online competitive format. And on that basis, I don't think there's an argument saying, well, we don't need a new Pokemon Stadium because that function already exists as part of the games. No, it doesn't. There are many reasons why the Smogon and Pokemon Showdown communities are so much more active than the actual Pokemon online battling scene. And if a new Pokemon Stadium wanted to be successful, they would rip a lot of pages out of the playbook of Pokemon Showdown, in which you can go in as a casual player and basically pick and choose which Pokemon you want, create your own movesets, create your own rules for battles, adjust all of your IVs and EVs the exact way you want them. The breeding and battle purists would still have their platform with the mainline games and that online service, but for people that purely just want to enjoy battling in different ways, with different movesets, different pools of Pokemon, different generations of battle rules and styles, a new Pokemon Stadium would be an amazing platform for that crowd. And I think just by numbers, which is what Nintendo and Game Freak and all these companies would be basing the idea for game development on, Pokemon Snap sold very well for what it is, which is just a game about exploring environments and taking pictures. And this is another great example of why I think there is probably a new Pokemon Stadium in the works, in that Game Freak was definitely thinking about Pokemon Snap with Sun and Moon, because they had the photo feature. It was very poorly done. People did not respond well to it, but they did see that people were passionate about that photo mode, that they wanted more of it. And I think that's a part of what got new Pokemon Snap off the ground, and that is a great game for Switch. The Pokemon Company is aware of Showdown. They know how many people are devoted to purely battling. They know that there is a market out there for people that want to enjoy all of these different movesets, all this other stuff I've been talking about so far within the video, but with updated visuals. That way you actually have high quality 3D models, high quality animations for moves, proper size scaling between Pokemon. Problems that people have been complaining about for years and years and years that Game Freak and the Pokemon Company doesn't seem to be able to live up to with their actual game development. This will be an avenue to please what a lot of those people have been complaining about for so long. I personally have a lot of complaints with the TCG online service in that you really only have two options, and that's to play standard or expanded. Which makes perfect sense because those are the products that online service is meant to sell in real life. But in doing so, they're missing out on a huge player base of retro and vintage players that would like to go back and just play Base Fossil or Neo-On, and also missing an opportunity to expose newer, younger generations of players to older formats. Something that Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! Excels at, especially Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they will reprint older cards and reintroduce newer players to those cards, allowing them to reprint them in new sets and make money on them all over again. I don't want to get too far off on the TCG subject. The way it relates to Pokemon Stadium is that there's a player base out there that would love to go back and play just Generation 1 style Stadium with the movesets, Pokemon, and mechanics of just that generation, to go back and play Gold and Silver with just 252 Pokemon and those mechanics and Pokemon. That way you're hitting the nostalgia of every Pokemon fan because everybody has their initial first generation that they play, but you're also introducing the history of competitive play and how it has changed from generation to generation. Because kids these days have no appreciation for how good Gen 1 Tauros was. If you want to sell more Tauros and Slowbro and Starmie merch, have kids play Stadium 1. But the more options you give players, the greater player base you're going to have, the more expansion of people you're drawing in to where you can say, hey, yeah, you can make your own rules for the types of matches you want to have. You can include Megas or Z-moves or Gigantamax Pokemon, whatever you want. Play in whatever generation of mechanics you want. Have this online service that's going to bring in all these casual people that just want to have fun online battling experiences. And of course, give it compatibility with Pokemon Home. That way, if you want to do your own transfer teams from Pokemon Go, Sword and Shield, whatever, that's available to you. And that's all part of just the online service part of this game, which they could update as they go along. Something that you can add expansions to over time. I mean, just look at the recent example with Mario Kart. Even a game that old has an enjoyable online experience to where, yeah, this far along you can go, we're adding more tracks, and people will pay $25 extra for those tracks. New Stadium could release with a base model with more and more expansions on the way. That way you have a reason for people to keep playing it and returning to the game every few months. And again, that's just the online service. That is a business model of its own. You also have to have a strong core game, which is what Stadium and Stadium 2 on N64 were. They had all of these different tournament modes, different rental Pokemon at different levels that you could choose from, and those were pretty fun. Those are great challenges on their own, but one of my favorite parts about those games is actually Gym Leader Castle. And oh my god, can you imagine a Gym Leader Castle that pulls from 8 generations of gym leaders, Elite Four members, rivals? Pull in that Pokemon Masters fan base that loves all of these individual characters and seeing them in different costumes and in different generations. There's so much you can do with even this one small concept of a Gym Leader Castle. So, say you want to challenge Misty. I'll fucking love Misty. What if I can challenge her Gen 1 team, a Gen 2 version of her team, a Gen 8 version of her team, and as you play, depending on which generation of Misty you're playing against, her Pokemon will change, the movesets will change depending on that generation's move pool and Pokemon pool, and as you do so, her 3D character model would also change to match whatever generation you're playing within. So it would progress from something that looks like her Gen 1 sprite to her more updated look from Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Maybe even reverting back to a more cartoony, smoothed over version like from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And that's just an idea for what you could do with one character from one game mode. And this could also interplay with the online service where you say, Okay, this month, Team Magma is invading Pokemon Stadium, and so you can battle Grunts, work your way up to Maxie, who has an especially difficult team to beat. If you do beat him within the time frame of this event, you can get special rewards or unlocks like avatar items, which is a great segue into something else this game could greatly use if it ever exists, which is customization out the ass. Players love customization, especially if you get to take that customized avatar into an online setting and show off to other people. And speaking of giving people more of what they want, this would be a great avenue to bring back features like the Battle Frontier. I think you could sell this as a $60 game just off the back of saying we brought back the Battle Frontier with all of its unique challenges, with updated features, even more challenges added. Just another feature of the core game that just makes too much sense to not do it. And we haven't even talked about the mini games. Perhaps the most pristine of all the crown jewels of any stadium game, the mini games are the heart and soul of a Pokemon Stadium. Perfectly complementing the cerebral battle styles of all of the other modes, the mini games serve as a controlled, fun chaos, distilling the pure joy of pocket monsters into euphoric-like experiences of licking sushi or cutting logs. Actually, it's just Mario Party shit, but with a Pokemon skin over it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Especially when you consider that you could sell that game on its own and people would pay money for it. If you just went, hey, this is Mario Party, but all the things are Pokemon instead. Because you get the same experience. For anybody that played Stadium 2, when you had couch co-op or couch competitive, you were not battling, you were playing the minigames. Few Pokemon in-game accomplishments have made me feel better about myself than getting really good at Topsy-Turvy or Egg Emergency, nor have I been more joyously infuriated by the likes of Gutsy Golbat or Eager Eevee. The sheer amount of creativity they could put into just the minigame section, again, would sell the game on its own. It's not an experience that's available through any other means unless you do just want to play Mario Party and pretend that everything's Pokemon. And I should probably stop here for now before my short video essay turns into a full-on ramble. I've already done videos, maybe like 3 years ago, on why Pokemon Stadium would be perfect for Switch if they were to just port them on over, so if you want to hear my thoughts on that, you can check out that video. I've made my argument for why I think a new Pokemon Stadium is justifiable for the market, for the player base, as well as the reasons why I think it actually is on the way. But I want to hear your thoughts as well. Let me know down in the comments if you think that this is something we're actually going to get, and if so, what do you want to see included in the base game? What do you want to see online-wise? Chuck it all down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting, liking, subscribing, all of that YouTube algorithm stuff. Hope to see you next video. Bye.